We're back.
Double coverage, double coverage, double coverage.
Mama, we made it.
The network picked us up. We're like established now.
We need the signs that says like clap, cheer, laugh.
J-Mac here, D-Mac to the right. Welcome to Double Coverage.
Mama, we made it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 2 of Double Coverage Podcast with myself, your host, J-Mac, my sidekick over here, D-Mac.
I'm really the host, but go ahead.
Let's not waste time getting into all of that. But we're back, episode 2, the next season of the podcast. As you guys know, you can find us this season on NESN, and then also, as always, YouTube, iTunes, audio, video. We're there. Follow us on social media at McCourty Twins, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then also check out the McCourtyTwins.com website to see all that Dev and myself are doing.
Yeah, we're doing a lot, man, but let's get right into it. We got less time than we used to have doing this podcast stuff, so
it's blocks now. Like, this is TV, it's
yeah,
cable. You gotta get right.
But successful week 1 in the NFL. What do you think?
For sure, there were no positive tests. Everybody was able to play in the game.
Who would think the lead off for a successful week 1 was no positive COVID test?
You knew Saturday night that we were set. Everybody could play in the game, and we were good to go for Sunday at 1 p.m. at Gillette Stadium.
Not the normal life, but it was just cool just seeing all of the games throughout the league. People being able to watch football. I know you guys were excited being able to see football, see your favorite players, your favorite teams going out there playing, and we got a dub.
Yeah, without a doubt. It was kind of a normal Sunday. Got families sitting around the TV, watching football, talking about the officiating, talking about what players aren't doing good, who missed the tackle, who threw the interception. So
right away, you talking about some bad calls out there?
We won't get into that. I don't want to get fined. But college football was back as well. A little bit different. Your favorite schools you didn't really get to see. There weren't any Big Ten schools. Rutgers didn't play this weekend.
We watched a thriller. So for you guys that don't know, Saturday being in the hotel, everyone's kind of usually in a huge cafeteria room, but now it's kind of split. But we had the Campbell versus, I forgot who they played.
Me too.
But Campbell was playing, and I mean, you got 2 onside kicks.
Thriller.
You got double overtime. You got drop passes for the win. But it was cool just to see all of the sports back going, colleges going, NFL going. And I think this is what you come to expect. And I would go out there on a limb and say, starting with Thursday night, the game was pretty good football. Yeah. Watching that game.
Yep.
And I would say overall, for no preseason games,
that was really good.
I saw my guy Ben Watson tweet, preseason not needed. I saw good football week 1.
See, that's because Ben's a high-round draft pick. You high-round draft picks don't understand how important these preseason games are. For me, pick 203, having those preseason games, a chance for me to really go out there and make my name and be able to make the team was huge. So I still want those preseason games, but football looked good on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting going forward. Does the PA and then players start to push back on preseason? And does it now give the NFL a chance to say, well, here goes those 2 extra regular season games. Let's knock this thing down to 2 preseason games. So
by the time all of that happens, I'll be somewhere sitting on the couch.
Maybe on the beach. Depends on what you're doing.
Hey, that's not bad.
Money.
That's not bad.
Better call up Brandon Copeland. He has a whole financial literacy program at UPenn.
Hey, when I finish here, that's what I'll be doing. But in other news outside of the football world, what else happened?
Naomi Osaka won the U.S. Open again. And very powerful. She wore a mask representing a
throughout
different
the
person.
whole tournament.
Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, so many different people. And the families reached out to her and told her how powerful it was,
awesome.
how much it inspired them. And I thought one of the best things she said after her match is they asked her what she wanted people to take away. And she then turned the question and said, what did you take away? What did you get from me wearing the mask? And I thought that was awesome to see.
Yeah, those tough, challenging questions in a time like this is always awesome to see. And she's so young, so to see her excelling in her sport so much and actually having the awareness is pretty cool. So, but in other Boston sports, Celtics moving on to the Eastern Conference
Finals.
Wrapped
up the Toronto Raptors.
Took out the defending champs, which is huge, you know.
But I tell you this, though. Celtics starting it off, right? Boston sports, Celtics in their Eastern Conference Finals. But like all Boston sports, it all marries up. So, as you know, Boston will be playing the Miami Heat. They'll be playing them for the chance to go to the finals. But before that could take place Tuesday night, the Patriots had to play the Miami Dolphins Sunday afternoon. And it was key for us to get off to a good start and let the Celtics know, hey,
this is how it's done.
We handle Miami now. You handle Miami next.
That's a great segue. And we're going to move this show right along. We want to talk a little bit about the Miami Dolphins, who we just played this past weekend. But to do so, we want to invite a special guest coming on to the show virtually, our guy, Chase Winovich.
No, it's Winno. He told you that.
There he goes.
Hey, thank you for the introduction. Yes, as he said, it's Winno, not Wino, contrary to popular belief. But yes, as they said, I am Chase, and I am so fired up to talk to you guys today about Rutgers national championships that they have in the background right there. They got all the trophies from their time at Rutgers, and not how great Michigan is. We're going to leave that for a different podcast. So
yeah, we have the same amount of national championships,
Definitely
right? Us and Chase. Yeah, that sounds about right.
More Super Bowls here, though. But now we appreciate you coming on, man, and we just wanted to talk about how was it being back out there on the field. No fans, but as your teammates know, you're a ball of energy, and you bring a lot of energy to the defense. So how did it feel just to be back out there playing football?
It felt really cool just, being able to actually go against other competition. It's a weird thing where you would think it would be a bigger deal, but honestly, it was kind of nice maybe you guys can relate, maybe you can't, but like after making plays and just from a communication standpoint, it was really cool just kind of having like this, there's no artificial energy, I guess the best way you could put it. So it's like the team that, can really bring that, energy play after play, down after down, and just really line up and just get ready to go again, without like the home field advantage, I guess you could say. It strips that element in a certain way. It'll be interesting this week when we go out to Seattle and the lack of fans there versus how it normally is, as you guys know, with it being so loud. But it was cool.
Yeah, for sure. And for you now, going into year 2 this year, what was it like being out there for the first game compared to a year ago when you were a rookie and you're trying to figure things out, having a little bit more expectations and obviously having a bigger role? What was that like for you on Sunday?
It was definitely an interesting challenge, I guess you could say, is like the process of becoming a pro. And you guys make it look so natural, and that's why you guys were both voted captain. And, obviously your demeanors and just the way you guys, your mindset and how you guys obviously operate as athletes on the field. You guys kind of have that process down to a pattern, where for me, it's like I don't know. I going through college and, coming eventually to the NFL, like, I always said no one really teaches you kind of how to be famous or how to deal with these certain pressures that come with just being like a kind of a higher profile athlete, I guess you could say. But, as I spent like that first year kind of like, at times it felt like I was, sort of like stumbling my way through, just making sure, just as a rookie, like whatever. I felt like I made some strides in my process, and so whenever I went out there on Sunday, I felt like it really allowed me to focus on my assignments and just really honing in and playing fast. And for me, that's when I'm at my best.
For sure. Speaking of fame, tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel. We know you're kind of becoming famous in that world, and people love to see you talk and do whatever it is that you do when you're outside of the building.
Yeah, so the YouTube series is pretty cool because I always said it's kind of a weird concept, and maybe you guys can relate to this. I guess you're a little closer than I am, but I'm from Pittsburgh, went to Michigan, and then ended up here in New England. And it's kind of a weird concept when you're like drafted to a certain place, and you kind of have to embody this team. But I had literally spent one day, in Boston when my brother played here as a kid. So like now I'm like you're not the face of this area, but like as an athlete for that team, you kind of, embody some of the team's traditions and culture, or at least you try to, you try to adopt those. And so the show was kind of a way for me to kind of, introduce myself to New England, but at the same time, use this platform in this like travel series-ish to kind of introduce New England to me. And it was pretty interesting. And not only that, but it was also, I always said, I called it Winno on a quest because I felt like whenever I got to New England, where I needed to be and where the team needed me to be, I wasn't quite there. So I figured like there was a cool thing about like the process of discovering how to like refine that process was something that I felt like not only can you kind of use it as a platform to kind of give back, but you could flex a little creativity in there and maybe make some people laugh. So.
No, that's so true, man. And we can't let you come on. I know we're both, we lack hair, both bald. But I know everybody watching is going to want to know the hair, what it means to you, and then what are the top products that you use? Like, how do you keep the flow going? Like, I know a lot of men and women are going to know how you take care of your hair, man.
Yeah, I guess that's one of those things that just like kind of fame, like I don't think anybody really teaches you as a man, like when you start growing your hair out, like how to take care of it. My dad never had long hair. I don't know, I guess my brother didn't either. So like when I was growing out, I kind of really didn't know what I was doing at first. I just started slicking it back. I liked the way, it was kind of allowed me to get past that awkward stage. And once I grew it out, it kind of coincided with me seeing the field more on defense. And so as my hair kind of, represented my image there, it kind of grew a part of me in that sense where it's like part of that pivotal year where it was kind of this forming of my new identity. And I've been dyeing my hair since I was, in high school. As a tradition during camp, we'd always dye our hair, like bleach it blonde. So like sometimes like it's probably been some form of bleach in it at some point or another throughout the years, but that's just kind of part of the tradition, I guess, of maybe being a Jaguar. But in terms of products, I've been using Aveda for a while now. Aribe, I like their products as well. Aveda's all natural, so this isn't an ad. This is just trying to throw some healthy consideration for all natural organic products. There's definitely a higher quality there, but yeah, it's part of my spirit. I think when I'm out there on the field, my mom always says I look like a stallion when I run because it's just like I'm like I don't know what that means, but you guys can do the guessing. And maybe my hair plays a part in that. I don't know, but dude, honestly, like having no hair is probably a lot easier in terms of maintenance. Plus, like, I mean, you guys rock it. I think you guys got a much better head for. Being bald than I do. So hopefully, at least mine sticks around for a couple more years. That's true. You don't.
Hopefully we'll come back someday. We'll be visiting old retired guys and maybe you'll be bald, but for now we're going to pray for all moms who now have to deal with their son saying, I want the Winno haircut. But we do want to ask you another kind of silly question. Well, I guess not silly. This is going to be real. Is Julian Edelman the biggest role model for you in New England?
Well, that's kind of a trick question because Tom left. I felt like Tom was the man. I felt like Tom was the man. It's just like, and plus once you get to know that side of Tom, like obviously I'm not disclosing anything on here, but like he's such a cool guy and he's very down to earth and like he definitely welcomed me in. I know we shared the Michigan bond and just beating up on Rutgers, and we had a lot of fun doing that and stuff like in our own years, but. Just coming together on the Patriots was cool, but Julian's he's definitely a role model in that sense too, where there's a certain type of commitment and passion in holding yourself kind of to that accountable standard. I know no one's harder on Julian than he is on himself, and I'm kind of the same way in that sense. We're pretty self-motivated and I liken myself to being, a bit of a warrior if you consider like just the people that we, have to go against and just the size and just the willingness as football players to just, come back hit after hit. It's not like an automobile. You got a car and you crash the car, you're going to have to take that to the repair shop. That's going to be out for a couple weeks. But like with us, like, we just come, we get a solid hit and we're just coming back for some more. So he's definitely somebody I look up to. But before we continue, I had a question. Can one of you guys grow your hair out and the other can't? Because like sometimes I see, a little bit more that, that's, always wanted to ask you guys that, so I figured I'd put you guys on the spot here.
Nah, it's a struggle for both of us. There's no hair in our future. Those days are long gone. So all three of my kids got to see me with hair, and I knew after that it was okay to let it go.
Yeah,
If there was a pill you could take, if there was a pill you could take that came out tomorrow, would you guys consider doing that?
Nah, the baldy is fresh on me, man. Women love the bald
Yeah.
guys, and my wife's happy, so I'm all good.
How do you get the shine
We'll
to
teach
it?
you how to
What's
rock this thing.
how do you guys get the shine? What's the secret with that?
That's just natural, bro. Like, you know, some people, like you just said, you got to learn how to deal with fame and all that stuff. Some of us come with a just natural shine, man. Spotlight.
Yeah,
just
because some
seems to
people's
find the
baldness, it glistens. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can kind of like see your reflection, see if you got any teeth, you know, stuff in your teeth. And then some people, it's just like it's just dull, you know. And
You don't want the dull baldy, but hey, man, we won't hold you up anymore. We appreciate you coming out, taking the time to come on Double Cover. So, man, keep the work up, keep the relentless effort that you play with, and it's been a pleasure being teammates with you so far, man. Appreciate you coming on, Chase.
Thanks, buddy.
the pleasure is mine. Thank you guys so much for having me on and being great teammates. Thanks, guys.
This week, it is going to our old teammate, Steve Gostkowski. Rough start to his career in Tennessee, my former team, the Titans. But out in Denver, high altitude, Steve is able to come up clutch at the end of the game. And I know he said he was embarrassed by his performance, but it's still big to be able to go through those woes early on, missing 4 kicks, 1 getting blocked, an extra point and 2 field goals, and then being able to come back with seconds left on the clock and be able to knock the game-winning field goal through the upright. So the Dan O'Brien Keep It Awesome Moment of the Week goes to Steve Gostkowski.
And now up next, we got your questions straight from Twitter. We want to get right into those. So our first question from one Simus, father of identical twins here. How can I nurture competitiveness between both siblings in a manner that is fair and healthy? What do you think about that, J-Mac?
Man, I know for us, we always competed growing up, whether it was video games, whether it was sports. It was always a healthy competition for us, but our mom always made sure that those competitions never ended in fights. And she always told us if it was a fight, she was going to be one to end the fight. So let them go out there, let them compete. Because I think for us over the years, we've learned how to compete, but we've also learned how to push each other and try to bring out the best in one another. So let those healthy competitions start. Just don't allow it to become any more than that, and make sure they're not fighting, and make sure they're not doing it in public.
And I would say the biggest thing is make them share their toys. I think that creates a bond between twins that even though they're going to go after each other, they're going to have fun doing that.
They come back.
They learn how to share, because if they want to play a video game, they got to share one console. If they want to do, action figures, they got to share those. So make sure that's always involved in there.
Without a doubt. And our second question comes from Dirk. Did you feel that there was still a home field advantage with no fans on Sunday?
So I think the home field advantage comes from just knowing what you're getting into, knowing like,
No
hey,
travel, no hotel stay.
I know I'm getting to the stadium, I'm going through this routine. For the away team, you still didn't know. Obviously, there was a lot of former Patriots there, so they knew some more than others. But you still had to kind of go through that. What's it going to be like COVID? Is there going to be more buses that we have to get on? Are we going to have to go through screening? You talk about those things, you just don't know. It's the first away game with the coronavirus. So I think we had the home field advantage in that way. But as far as the momentum.
Once the game starts, it's not there. I mean, you're running out the tunnel. There's no cheers. There's no clapping. A big play happens. I mean, you can hear everything being said on the field from the sideline. So I think that's going to be one of the bigger adjustments this season, is getting used to playing without fans in the stadium. And Chase alluded to it, bringing your own energy and knowing that energy is not going to come from the outside.
Mike Pellegrino, one of the secondary coaches, said to me, he heard me make a check on the field all the way up in the boxes. So it is something that I think everyone's going to have to continue to get used to.
Yep.
Home field advantage, going to Seattle.
Let's talk a little bit about Seattle. What's going on upcoming game?
Yeah, leaving Friday, going cross country to play the Seahawks. And I would say one thing that sticks out, similar to us in the fact that they've been good for a long time now. Good on offense, good on defense, good on special teams. A lot of dynamic players across the board.
A ton of dynamic players.
I would say top players in the league, really on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
Obviously with Wilson, Lockett, with Carson in the
Metcalf,
backfield. Yep, a lot of greats. And then, you got that defense that's been known.
And Jamal Adams, Wagner. I mean, it's all over the place. The Griffin twins are there, so you always got to shout out twins when they're in the league. So definitely going to be a big upcoming game. A lot going on the West Coast right now with the air quality and different things. So we'd be remiss not to say, prayers for everybody that's going through that. But a big game coming up versus a very good team. Sunday Night Football, right?
Sunday Night Football, and usually it would be rocking in there. So
that's a loud
no
stadium.
fans. So we're going to bring our own energy, and it'll be better a little bit than that 12-man energy probably.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to have to, and that's what it's going to be. So we appreciate you guys tuning back in to another episode of Double Coverage with your host, as always, J-Mac, and the sidekick over here.
The more important twin, D-Mac.
And as you guys know, you can see us on NESN weekly, and also you can go on YouTube for the video version, iTunes for the audio version. And as always, you got any last message?
Man, if you're bored right now, or you haven't told someone, tell Mama we made it. Tell your mom that today, man. That's key to whatever's going on in life.
So loud. And make sure when you guys go check that out, you hit that subscribe button and follow us on all those social media platforms that we discussed. See you next week.